Now, have you come across the story of an international student for Birmingham University called Rasik Aziz? He was asked to arrive early for a university course which began in January. He was asked to arrive in October 22 to prepare for it, a postgraduate course. And the Home Office have now censured him for arriving early, and the university, kowtowing to the Home Office, have withdrawn their sponsorship of him. So he's been caught in a nonsensical bureaucratic muddle. I'm sure he has the paperwork to prove that he was asked to arrive for the course early. And this mirrors so many cases that I have come across over, not recently, but over the last 15 years. So it's not just a recent phenomenon. It goes on and on and on, and it all started with Mrs. May's hostile environment. And I remember going to see first Andrea Leadsom, then Mrs. May, to complain about this targeting of students. Why? Because students are well documented. And when the Home Office is measured by a system of targets, how many people it can get out of the country, then it goes to the best documented of those to see who it can get out on a technicality, and it destroys people's lives. I've seen students who certainly have been some of the best students that I've ever taught, whose university and A-level education has been cut short because of the stupidity of the Home Office. And it doesn't matter how many times one complains, because by the time the complaint has progressed, the student has lost the edge. They've lost the time, often up to 6 months. Often they then find that they've got a penalty against their name. So when they try and do something later on, this error is blamed directly on them, because that's the paperwork that survived. That's what's recorded against their name, that they had a visa rejected or something like that. They had a visa rejected on a technicality because the Home Office was trying to create a fuss. It is madness. It was madness 15 years ago. It is madness now. I am appalled, not only by the Home Office, but also by the toadying behaviour of Birmingham University. A university should be there to protect and support its students, and if it can't, then it should get out of the business. In the same way, schools and universities should have on campus a teacher who is involved, or an individual who is involved in liaising with the Home Office. And that person is generally responsible for sending out letters of invitation for a visa. I can think of a number of occasions, one very recently, where a school invited a student to attend in July, and nothing happened. No paperwork was processed. And by October, though a deposit was taken, quite a hefty deposit, by October, still nothing had happened. And when I looked into it, because I'd been given the assurance, I discovered that the bursar, the person who had originally been trained to process Home Office applications, had left the school before the invitation was even given. So that invitation presumably was given in the knowledge that there was nobody to process it. Now, a lot of schools and universities and other educational institutions depend on third parties to process these visa applications. Needless to say, this didn't turn out well. And now, oh gosh, getting on for over half a year. No, it's more than half a year later. The deposit still hasn't been returned. So it's not just the Home Office that is at fault. And this is why I castigate Birmingham University. It's not just the Home Office that is at fault. The Home Office sets the standard of scurrilous behaviour. And a lot of educational institutions comply and use this impossible situation that most students and most parents cannot negotiate to rake in their own cash, to do their own little bit of jiggery-pokery. In any other business, this would be called fraud. Here it's called error, human error or something. But people suffer. And I don't know how anybody invested in education can be so ready to encourage such suffering or watch such suffering and not comment on it. Oh, we've done our best. It's wrong. It's utterly, utterly wrong. Our best is to keep our word. If we can't keep our word, we move heaven and earth to make sure that somebody else can. If we can't do what we say we're going to do, we make sure we know someone who can. And I think it's a matter of resignation. I think the person who's currently running the Department of Education should resign. I think in this particular case, the people involved in the visa liaison in Birmingham University should resign. And I think Aziz, who is from Lahore, and has a scholarship, incidentally, for academic excellence, should be telling this story to as many people as possible. It is wrong. He is a victim of serious injustice. Serious injustice. He has worked hard to come here, and he's been treated appallingly. Appallingly. So why would a university report Aziz rather than helping the Home Office to rectify a problem that they themselves caused? An admin error from the university is destroying this person's career, future, and personal well-being. And instead of accepting their mistake, this ghastly university is conspiring with the Home Office to make a quick buck. Because that's what it comes down to. They are using other people. They should resign.